Bienvenidos a Cultura, Gobierno y Sociedad, aquí por Canadá Latin Channel. Gracias por estar en sintonía de esta plataforma digital Canadá Latin Channel. Los saluda con el gusto de siempre Héctor Chaparro, transmitiendo desde la ciudad de Calgary, Alberta, para Canadá, para Latinoamérica y para el mundo. Antes de comenzar, no me cansaré de invitarte a que vayas a nuestras redes sociales, en Facebook, en Twitter, en Instagram, en YouTube, también en nuestra página web www.canadalatinchannel.com. Esto es Cultura, Gobierno y Sociedad por Canadá Latin Channel, información en tu idioma. Y como ya es costumbre de traerles contenido de interés, contenido importante, objetivo y contenido que realmente necesitas saber, hoy tenemos una entrevista con el ministro de Transporte, Rick MacIver, que tiene algunas actualizaciones que ofrecernos para que todos ustedes pues estén enterados de lo que está pasando en cuanto al transporte y la transportación se refiere. Y sin más preámbulo, quiero invitarlo aquí a la pantalla al ministro de Transporte, Rick MacIver, que nos acompaña desde la ciudad de Edmonton, allá en Alberta. Minister, thanks for being here in Canada Latin Channel. Welcome back again.
¿Cómo está? It's nice to be here.
Gracias, muy bien. Thanks, Minister. Good Spanish. Minister, I can start with the update. What update you have in COVID about in Alberta?
Well, I wouldn't say we're not out of the woods or anything like that yet, Hector, but the ICUs are still fairly high at 181, but at least they're flattening out. The current hospitalizations are at 678, and they were over 700 a few days ago. So that's a good direction for them to move. And the total cases are 21,288. It was only 3 or 4 or 5 days ago that the total number of cases were over 25,000. So like I said, it's we can't really celebrate or anything, but I'm sure happy to see numbers. And they're all over 40% of all Albertans with their first dose of vaccine. And it is thought that it won't be very many more days that over 50% of Albertans will have had their first dose of vaccine. These are very important markers on our way to getting past COVID restriction.
So, Minister, what does it mean for all Albertans? I mean, these numbers, obviously, we had before high peak, but right now, apparently, it's stable. And as far as all the Albertans will be vaccinated, I guess the curve will be going down. What does it mean for all the Albertans in general?
Well, it means that we might get our lives back, or at least part of our lives back, as we're able to, because our whole objective was to protect people's lives and their livelihoods. And of course, every time you protect somebody's livelihood, at some point you could argue you've threatened somebody's life. And every time you protect somebody's life, you could argue that you've threatened their job or their business. So finding that balance is our government's worked very hard at trying to get that right. But the real answer is to get past COVID. And because you know what people want to do, they want to have their kids over for dinner and their grandkids and be able to give them a hug. Albertans have been trying to follow the restrictions, which is why I believe the numbers are getting better. And we can stick to it a little bit longer, and we keep getting vaccinations in people's arms, and we may be able to go out and run and jump and play a little bit this summer, which is, I think, something that we all are looking forward to.
And you promise go for a beer as soon as this passes, you and I, remember?
Promise. Amigo, we'll go for a beer. Cervezas for Hector and Rick.
Excellent. Thanks. Minister, I want to ask you about the update. You have another news. Apparently, well, no, not apparently. I mean, you have a good program in between USA and Canada. You're vaccinated to the drivers of the truck drivers.
Yes. You know what? One of the things you have to do in government is not be ashamed to steal a good idea. And a few weeks ago, the North Dakota kind of made a deal with Montana and Saskatchewan across the border that they would vaccinate them so that it would protect Americans from Canadian truck drivers that might be carrying COVID. It would be protecting the truck drivers themselves, because with all that traveling, they run some risk of talking to people that may or may not have COVID, and it protects their families, the truck drivers' families, when we get home, because truck drivers, we Of course, without truck drivers, there will be no food on the shelf of the grocery store. There'll be no medicine in the drugstore. So after North Dakota and Manitoba made that deal, we talked right away with Montana, and Montana Governor Gianforte was very generous and has agreed to vaccinate Canadian truck drivers in Montana after they cross the border. So this is, we're very excited about this. We're very grateful to our neighbors and our friends and our family in Montana, really acting like the good neighbors that we all are, and looking after Canadian truck drivers by getting them vaccinated when they cross the border. So we're so very grateful. There's been some good work done by people in our government and people in the Montana government, and the Montana Truckers Association and other Montana groups have stepped up with their support. The Alberta Motor Transport Association has been helpful. So we're very grateful. And this helps secure those supply lines that keep food on the shelves for all of us and medicine on the shelves.
Minister, do you know how many people will be vaccinated? How many truck drivers will be vaccinated?
You know what? I think when they started, they said at least 2,000. Okay. But the governor also kept the door open that there's potential for more. Excellent. But if you just figure 2,000 trucks worth of food and medicine, wow, what a difference for Alberta. To protect those drivers that are traveling, to keep the rest of us all to have food on our shelves at our grocery stores. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference for sure. Yeah, Minister, as well, we have you have an improvements in Deerfoot Trail here in Calgary. Talk to us about what happened.
Thank you. We just announced today, and we've talked about it before, that we are going to go with a request for qualifications. Yep. For people. We're going to we got $210 million in the budget to spend on Deerfoot Trail. And we're going to work with the private sector to try to structure a public-private partnership, which will enable us to do about $400 million worth of improvements to Deerfoot Trail. We know it has to be done because Alberta Transportation has worked in partnership with the City of Calgary. Thank you, City of Calgary, for several years. To do a study on Deerfoot Trail to see which interchanges most need to be improved and which sections of the road most need to be improved. So now we're at the point where if we hope by fall of 2022, about 18 months from now or less, that we can start construction and do $400 million worth of improvements to Deerfoot Trail. Boy, any Calgarian that takes Deerfoot Trail to work or home from work will agree, I think, that the holdups, the traffic jams, the delays are not acceptable. So this has been, in my opinion, this is needed to be done for a long, long time. And the fact we're finally in a position to get some of it done, I think that will be huge news for Calgarians. It's certainly great news for me, but I think many of the people that watch your show will agree that this is an important step forward.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people who view our show, they're concerned about the jam, specifically in Deerfoot, specifically in peak hours. But anyways, you have put the good effort to try to fix all the problems across Deerfoot Trail. Thanks for that, Minister.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure, and it's what Calgarians and other Albertans have let us know is an important priority for them. So it is the busiest road in Alberta with 180,000 vehicles a day on Deerfoot Trail.
Wow.
So
that's a lot.
If you can improve the lives for 180,000 people at a time, that means something.
For sure. No doubt. Minister, another update you have, I know we can talk a lot with transportation because you have a good news as well. But I mean, the time is short. And talk to us about another kind of updates you have in transportation.
Well, on driver exams. Now, for those that know that we were short driver examiners when we took government 2 years ago, and we come into government with only 77 driver examiners when we needed over 150. Well, we've been working very hard ever since, training driver examiners and working with private industry. And we 2 or 3 months ago made an agreement where the registry agents in Alberta will do driver exams like they did 3-4 years ago. And it worked very well for a long time. So we're at the point now where we're got more than 200 driver examiners trained and on the job. And now for the first time in the 2 years, I can in your show, Hector, that we have more than enough driver examiners. We can do all the tests that people need. Now, there is a couple of small communities in Alberta where we may be 1 or 2 driver examiners short, and we're working hard to recruit driver examiners for those small areas. But on average in Alberta, we actually have more tests than we have people who need tests right now for class 4, 5, and 6. So we feel good about that, but we're not resting. We're still going to actually emphasize right now for the driver examiners that we have, if they're licensed, for example, to do a class 5 test, we're training them to do a 5A and a class 4 test, and training more drivers to do motorcycle tests so that each driver examiner can do more. And Albertans won't have to wait very long to get the driver exam that they want and need. So we feel like we're making very good, positive progress. And I got to say thank you to the staff in Alberta Transportation. Thank you to the men and women that work in the registry agencies. They're doing a great job, and we really appreciate it.
Well, that's a good thing, because I heard a lot of people was concerning and was complaining about, I schedule my driver test, but it's probably in 2 months, something like that. And I mean, with this kind of thing, it will be improved probably. I mean, in a very, very, very good position.
Hector, 2-3 months ago, you would have had to wait maybe 2 months or 4 months to get a driver exam. Now you should be able to get it in almost every part of Alberta within 1 or 2 weeks.
Excellent. That's a good news.
Well,
Perfect.
I was getting hundreds of letters every week with people angry because they couldn't get a driver exam. Gone. It's all stopped. So I feel very happy that Albertans can get the service that they deserve and the service that they need.
Minister, I want to take advantage you're here, and before skip my mind this question. We have a lot of Latin people. They got and they have the Latin driver's license. I mean, Mexico, Central America, South America, and they not sure what they can do to renew or to change the driver license for an Alberta. Is that possible, or they need to do the road test?
Well, it's a great question, Hector, and I can't. It's not a real simple answer.
Okay.
We have international treaties with a number of countries, but not with every country.
Okay.
And I apologize, I don't have the list with me of the countries we have treaties with.
No problem.
But if your listeners from a Latin country, if we have a treaty with them, they should be able to pretty much come in and trade that country's driver's license for an Alberta driver's license.
Okay.
If we don't have a treaty with them, unfortunately, they will have to take a test and pass it before we will give them an Alberta driver's license. So it's kind of, and I apologize because I don't have memorized which countries we have treaties with. But if your listeners, your watchers, call us at Alberta Transportation, we'll do our best to give them the information that they need.
Excellent. No,
or go to the registry agents. They will probably know.
Perfect. Awesome. No, I just because I just keep in my mind, and some people ask me about what is that. I mean, if they need to renew or they need to keep the driver license, and how long that we keep the driver license of.
Very important question. So
yes.
People that come here should actually check right away, because in some cases your driver's license from another country is only good for so many weeks or months.
Exactly.
And after that, it would be like you're driving without a license. So they should probably check with Alberta Transportation or their local registry agent soon to find out what is required for them to get an Alberta driver's license, please.
Excellent. Minister, something. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, please.
Okay. No, something else you want to add, or something else you want to talk before we finish the interview?
Well, just that we are, I said, to the point where we're going to have soon more than 50% of Albertans with their first dose of vaccine. By the end of June, we should have at least 75% of Albertans are with the first and second dose of vaccine. Please follow the rules. Please get vaccinated. This is a team effort now. Until we get enough, when we get enough vaccines into people, then we can ease the restrictions. And I think everybody wants that. So thank you to your watchers for helping us, for being part of the solution. But please don't quit. We're near the finish line. We need to get vaccinated and get the job done. Please.
Minister, that's a good message. And yeah, for sure, from here, from Canada, Latin China, we can say as well, we need to do something. We need to obey all the laws, because this pandemic is in a year, and we want to go back to the normal life. And I want to go for a beer with you, Minister, as well. Thanks for being here.
Dos cervezas, por favor. Huh?
Dos cervezas, por favor. Excellent. Minister, thank you. I want to say thanks for being here in this digital platform and talk about what's going on in transportation for the Latin community. And I'm gonna say probably the next. I can talk with you in another time for another update. Thanks for being here.
Muchas gracias, Hector.
Thanks. You have a good day, Minister. Bueno, a mí no me queda más que agradecer el favor de tu atención. Gracias por estar aquí, por estar pendientes pues de Canadá Latin Channel y por ser parte de esta plataforma digital. No quiero despedirme sin antes invitarte a que si no te has unido a nuestras redes sociales, vayas y lo hagas. Estamos en Facebook, en Twitter, en Instagram, en YouTube, nuestra página web www.canadalatinchannel.com. Está pendiente de nuestra plataforma digital porque estamos trayendo videos, información que tú necesitas saber, no solamente de Alberta, no solamente de algunas provincias, de Canadá en general. Estamos informándonos y estamos trayendo información a lo largo y ancho de todo el país, de todo Canadá, para que tanto los que viven en BC, allá en la Columbia Británica, hasta la costa este de Canadá, pues estén enterados de lo que sucede en sus provincias y a lo largo y ancho, como ya lo dije, de Canadá. Sin más, no me queda más que agradecer nuevamente y desearles muy bonita tarde, muy bonito día, muy buena noche, a cualquier hora que sintonices o que le des play a este video. Nos vemos en la próxima emisión de Cultura, Gobierno y Sociedad aquí por Canadá Latin Channel. Te recuerdo que Canadá Latin Channel es información en tu idioma. Hasta entonces.